Hello there, welcome back to your favorite channel, and if you are new here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. In the early 1950s, the American South was not just divided by race, it was ruled by it. Jim Crow laws governed daily life. Black Americans lived under rigid segregation, where you lived, worked, ate, or even stood in public was dictated by the color of your skin. Equality under the law existed on paper, but rarely in courtrooms. It was in this climate that Tommy Lee Walker, a young black man from Texas, would lose his life to a justice system designed to move swiftly against people who looked like him and painfully slow when it came to truth. In September 1953, Venice Lorraine Parker, a white woman, was found raped and murdered near Love Field in Dallas, Texas. The crime horrified the city, but more than grief, it ignited fear, and fear in the segregated South often demanded a black suspect. Local newspapers and police rhetoric quickly fueled panic about a so-called Negro prowler. Communities demanded swift justice, not careful investigation. Police were under immense pressure to produce an arrest, and in the Jim Crow South, that pressure almost always pointed in one direction. Tommy Lee Walker was 19 years old, poor, black, and living in a society where guilt was often assumed before evidence was gathered. There was no physical evidence linking Walker to the crime, no DNA, no fingerprints, no eyewitnesses placing him at the scene. What authorities did have was a system that allowed racial profiling, coercive interrogations, and confessions extracted under pressure. Walker was interrogated for hours without a lawyer. He was threatened, intimidated, and eventually coerced into signing confessions he immediately recanted. He told police he could not have committed the crime. On the night of the murder, he was with his pregnant girlfriend, who went into labor that same night. But in 1950s Texas, a black man's alibi meant little when weighed against white fear. Walker's trial was swift. The jury was all white, a common reality in Southern courts where black citizens were systematically excluded from jury service. His defense was underfunded, evidence was not properly challenged, and the coerced confessions were treated as unquestionable truth. This was not an anomaly, it was routine. Across Southern states, black defendants accused of crimes against white victims faced presumed guilt, harsher sentences, and near-certain conviction. The judicial system did not exist to protect them, it existed to control them. Tommy Lee Walker was convicted and sentenced to death. To understand how this happened, you have to go further back, long before the 1950s. Southern states were built on slavery. For centuries, black bodies were treated as property, not people. When slavery ended, racism did not. It evolved through black codes, Jim Crow laws, lynching culture, and a criminal justice system that replaced chains with convictions. By the mid-20th century, courts became tools for maintaining racial hierarchy. Executions of black men, especially for alleged crimes against white women, were disturbingly common. Tommy Lee Walker's case followed a familiar script written decades earlier. In 1956, at just 21 years old, Tommy Lee Walker was executed in the electric chair. He died maintaining his innocence. His name faded into history, recorded as another solved case, another life taken in the name of justice. For decades, the system moved on, but the truth did not. More than 7 decades after his execution, the case was reopened. Modern investigators re-examined the evidence with fresh eyes, and without the racial blinders of the past. What they found was devastating, coerced confessions, no reliable evidence, serious constitutional violations, and clear racial bias in arrest, trial, and sentencing. In January 2026, Dallas County officially exonerated Tommy Lee Walker. The state acknowledged what history had long suggested: an innocent man was executed. In a powerful moment, Walker's surviving family stood in the same system that once condemned him. His son, who grew up without a father, finally heard the words that should have come in 1953: he was innocent. Even the victim's family acknowledged the shared tragedy: 2 families destroyed by a system that failed them both. Justice delayed is not justice denied, but justice denied can echo for generations. Tommy Lee Walker's exoneration does not bring him back, but it forces a reckoning with history, with racism, and with a justice system that once valued speed over truth and skin color over evidence. His story is not just about the past, it is a warning and a responsibility for the future.